It's Stugotz and Company. I'm Izzy Gutierrez. There's Stugotz, Taylor, and Mikey A. I got a text this morning that, it legitimately made me spill my coffee. And I was a little late this morning because I got a text that said they just made the Billy announcement. Ooh. And I'm a little confused by it all. I don't know about the timing of it. I don't understand why they couldn't do this a week or two ago. And frankly, I don't really know what's true or what's not. So, Stu, did the Gators fire Billy Napier? Are they going to fire Billy Napier? Did the Gators finally give in to the fans, or is this kind of bad reporting and we don't know what's going on?
This Billy news is crazy. No, this Billy news it's insane. This Billy news. There are reports and they're conflicting all over the place. Is he going to be gone today? Is he going to be gone on Sunday? Perhaps it might be next week. So it's all really odd as to what's going on here with Billy. Why would you allow a person to continue to come to work when you know you're going to fire them or get rid of them, perhaps by this weekend?
That makes no sense. I have my alert set for all Billy news. And so when I saw that one, I said, it really doesn't make any sense. Like you said, who's going to show up to work and coach really hard to beat Mississippi State when they know the firing's happening? If anything, it motivates everybody to play super hard, absolutely dominate Mississippi State, and him to turn around and say, you're going to do what now this weekend? I don't think so. We just beat Texas a couple weeks ago, and now we're doing this.
I'm always confused by the demographic that gets confused by Facebook fake news. So Stugotz posts a link in our group chat saying Billy Napier's been fired.
Yes, I got that from my wife, Abby, by the way. Just so you know, Abby she went to school in Gainesville, like Izzy. She is a Gator. She has Gator alerts. She sent me the story. I just passed it along to you. I didn't fact check it, all right?
But if somebody in this group...
Now we know where Stu gets his news from.
Yeah,
Abby.
His wife's algorithm.
If somebody in this group was to get fooled by a fake article, it would be you, though. You would admit that.
1,000%. Yes, no question about it. Like, I have no idea what's real, what's fake. I never cared, and I still don't care. How about that, Taylor? All right?
No.
So I'm looking around like,
where there's smoke, there's fire. That's how I view it. Yeah.
I'm looking around like, man, am I just slow on this? And then I look, and that article was an aggregation of a USA Today report that said Florida head coach Billy Napier could be fired as soon as this weekend, which technically every coach could be fired as soon as this weekend.
Bill Belichick could be fired by the end of this weekend.
Should be fired.
Chances? No, I think
not every coach. Come on. Ryan Day, his job is safe.
Until the next Michigan
we would ever
game.
say that?
For at least another week.
Anything could happen midweek where you say, this guy could get fired. Ryan Day, even Dan Lanning, maybe too much cocaine in the middle of the week. You never really know.
Yeah. You want to know whose job is safe, and I'm not quite certain why? Always safe. Lincoln Riley's.
Could be fired this weekend if they lose to Notre Dame.
Okay, I feel like we're losing the plot here. Nobody cares about Lincoln Riley.
Didn't we say the same thing about James Franklin? I don't know why, but he's always safe.
Yeah. Lincoln Riley was the coach, right? He was the get. USC got the guy. And USC, as you know, USC is a storied program who has won many national championships. And you're saying no one cares about Lincoln Riley. And I'm wondering when we stop caring about USC, because you're right. No one seems to care about Lincoln Riley and the fact that he's done nothing since he's gotten to USC. So.
Well, I graduated high school in 1995. How many championships has USC won since then? And how many championships has the University of Florida won since then?
I don't know.
I think Florida has them, 3-1 in that time? Maybe 3-2.
It's at least 2-1. I know that.
Right.
Yeah. So I think Florida's got the floor here. Okay.
Right.
And
anyway, back to Billy. So
right. I just look. This is the exact opposite of what I think should happen. Like, obviously, USA Today or whomever broke this fake story. He's got to do their job. But if you want Billy Napier out, you can't. You can't give him a rallying point. Like, he's already been threatened to be fired a million times. If he knows it's on the way, man, these players are going to do some stupid shit for him. Like I'm telling you, they're going to win 70-0 and be like, you cannot fire a dude after he wins 70-0. So I feel like maybe this was planted by Billy Napier's people.
So on FanDuel, Florida is at home this week, and they're a 9.5-point favorite against Mississippi State. You also, Izzy, to your point, you can't do the, hey, we might fire this coach when they're almost a double-digit favorite.
Right,
like this is the hey, we're about to fire this coach. They're a 30-point underdog. They're going to get slaughtered almost no matter what. Like, Florida should win this game pretty handily against a much lesser Mississippi State team.
Yeah, wasn't Mississippi State like a big joke entering the season? And I think, not only that, but like, let's say you only win by 7. You're not going to be like, this guy sucks. He doesn't cover ever, right? You can't do that. You can't prepare to fire him and leak it in a week where you're expected to win easily. Makes no sense.
You can, if you keep doing it, you can. Like if they win like 70-0 next week, you could be like, we might get fired this weekend and see if he does it again. It's like
this weekend might be the weekend. Yeah.
You remember the Princess Bride when he's like, I'll likely kill you in the morning, and then every day he doesn't do it. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Nothing pisses me off more than when people reference a very famous movie that I've never seen. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the.
I'm sad for you for that one.
So, Mikey, you have Florida just dangling a carrot in front of this team the entire season. Like, hey, the second you guys lose, Billy Napier's gone.
There you go. That's the kind of thing they make a Disney movie about 20 years from now.
Like, you can't be living off of a Texas A&M loss when you just upset a Texas team, right? So this isn't like, okay, now we're going to decide that whether or not you're a good coach when it's Mississippi State, which is probably the easiest game on the schedule, followed by Georgia, which always could be the toughest game on the schedule. Like, if you made your decision on Billy, he's going to lose one of these games. He's got Georgia, he's got Ole Miss, he's got Tennessee, he's got Florida State. He's going to lose one of them. So just fire him.
And there's a bye week. There's a bye week between Mississippi State and Georgia.
He probably won't lose that week, but every other week, a very good chance to lose, and just go ahead and get rid of him now.
It could be his bye week. I mean,
you know what?
It was a bad joke.
No, I'm just letting it sit there because it was actually a really good joke.
Mississippi State is 4-2, by the way. I mean, what'd you say they were getting? Gators
9.5.
are 2-4. Mississippi State is 4. They're getting 9.5 on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am all over the Rebels. How about that?
This also could be reporting where somebody's just doing common sense reporting, where we know Billy Napier's going to get fired. When does somebody get fired? Right before the bye week, right? So this is the game before the bye week because they've got Georgia coming up the day after Halloween.
The bye week.
The bye week.
Mikey, when you mentioned you made them the Mississippi State Rebels.
I don't know what happened there, man.
That'll cause a fight in Mississippi.
Who are the Rebels?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
You know what? 9.5 felt better. That's why I was so surprised. It felt better for thinking Ole Miss was getting 9.5 points, you know?
Mikey, when you were describing that this is something that could be made into a movie, I think you were just describing the plot of Major League, where you have the athletic director up there like, this team has to keep losing. And the guys in the locker room are like, why not us, guys? Why not us?
The problem is they do the exact same difference, right? And so they have a cardboard cutout of Billy Napier, and every time they win, they're taking off.
It'd be the athletic director.
It's like, no. We got to flip that. We got to keep those clothes on. We are winning.
Right. What have they taken off Billy Napier thus far? Just a couple of sleeves, right?
Definitely Billy Nipple. Billy Nipple over here. Definitely one
Billy
of those.
Napier.
But
jeez,
I think that was the only goal of the entire season, is to get Billy Napier fired. That's why I've got the Billy alerts on my phone.
Sure.
And I think dangling it in front of people, or maybe that's what this is. Maybe that is a Gator booster saying, you know what, let's get this train rolling over here, because if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Hey, buddy, he might get fired this weekend. Let's see what happens. And then you throw that out there, and USA Today gives it some sort of justification, and boom, now we're getting that train rolling.
I got a question not for Izzy, because I already know how he's going to answer. Better job, Penn State or Florida?
Wow.
I can't answer that. So,
Wow.
Taylor.
Penn State gives you leash. Penn State, you're there for as long. You're there for a long time. Florida expects things now, and they'll do a lot more turnover than Penn State will.
Penn State does give you a longer leash, although they've been pretty patient here. The Gators have with Billy Napier, which is a better job. It's a good question. SEC, Big Ten, very good question. I think the Gators is a better job. I do. I think it's a better job. I think it's easier to recruit to the University of Florida than it is to Penn State.
I think the Gators is the better job, better resources, but you have an easier path to winning at Penn State, where Penn State, at the very least, you're the third.
You should be the third best
team, and as long as you don't lose to anybody below you, fairly safe. James Franklin proved that. He just couldn't beat the Ohio States, couldn't beat the Michigans consistently. Florida, it's like
you couldn't beat them at all, Taylor. Okay,
hey, he had a couple. He was like 4-21. People forget the 4.
Why would you forget? Why would you remember the 4 when there's a 21?
Admittedly, when there is the 21, you forget about it. But
Put
in
that
the
on
SEC,
the poll, when you're 4-21, do people forget the 4?
Yes, and only emphasize the 21. Of course, yes.
But in the SEC, it's like
put it the way Izzy wanted it phrased, because that was perfect. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Taylor.
But in the SEC, you know Georgia's good. You know people have to do it at Alabama. But then occasionally you have the Mississippi State Rebels popping up. Yeah. You have Joe Burrow, LSU popping up.
Vandy for a couple of years.
Penn State's the easier job.
Yes.
But is it the better job? Because if you succeed at Florida, if you succeed in the SEC, you're a god. Like if this season, for example, with the toughest schedule, I think, in all of college football, Florida could have had not just the type of surprising season that would, make all the boosters feel good. It would be the type of season that makes Billy stay forever. Like if they would have just beaten all these teams and been like, you know what? We're good. We waited it out and we finally are getting, paid off for this patience that we have. But at Penn State, like you could almost do something big for a long time and just stay there. I think when you're Florida, you've at least got to win the SEC in your first 4 years.
I feel like
solid.
I feel like if both of those jobs, if you were to win a national championship, if you win a national championship at Penn State, you have a job for life. I feel like you're by yourself 2 or 3 years at Florida if you win a national championship.
How long was James Franklin at Penn State?
12 years.
Because Mikey A says you win a national championship at Penn State, you have a job for life. James Franklin didn't win a national championship
and
at Penn
still
State,
got 12 years.
And was
didn't even get to 1
against top 10s and almost had a job for life.
But Stu, people forget the 4. What situation would it have to be where you're 4-21, but people only remember the 4? Like if you suck in the regular season against ranked teams, but
Eli
when
Manning
you get to those playoffs,
No.
there it is.
Yeah, Eli. No, if the 4 were in national championship games, that's it.
Can you imagine that? That's a coach that says, you know what, I stink against the good teams in the regular season, but once you put a playoff next to that, I'm going to kill this team.
Do you guys think that Hugh Freeze has poked around both jobs? I have top 5 guys who swear that this is their final destination, and we'll get to it later. T-Bob's going to join us, and make sure we ask T-Bob that question. Better job, Penn State or Florida? But I have top 5 coaches in college football who swear that where they're at is their final destination, yet they are poking around both these jobs. Okay,
that's a long name
at the very top of my list. Yes,
Hugh Freeze. It took me a second to figure out who you were talking about because Hugh Freeze is. I think that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes,
Hugh Freeze could be poking around all he wants. Penn State and Florida aren't poking him back. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, but it's not going to prevent him from poking around, is my point. I just love when a coach says, hey, this is it. I'm at my dream job. This is the final destination. And then a job like Penn State becomes available, and all of a sudden they're telling their agent, hey, go poke around that job, see if they're interested, Like Matt Rule.
Stu, I just actually got an alert on my phone, which you might find interesting.
A Matt Rule alert?
No, totally different. Actually, somebody's leaving the Lebatard show. Do you care to take a guess? Who?
Mike Ryan stepping down again?
No, the reason I got this alert, it came in my Billy alert. It's Billy Gill.
What? Welcome back to Stugotz and Company. It is presented by FanDuel and the FanDuel Sportsbook. T-Bob going to join us in hour number 2. Chris Sims on God Bless Football today. Get you ready for a big football weekend, both college and the NFL. So a big news day for Billy's. What else do we know about our Billy, about Billy Gill and his departure from the Dan Lebatard show with Stugotz?
Billy Napier is not our Billy, but okay.
He's your Billy.
He's your Billy.
He is your Billy.
So it looks like it was a 3-team trade, Stu. The Ringer is getting Billy Gill. Barstool is getting Ryan Russillo from the Ringer. And then it looks like the Lebatard show is receiving conditional 7th-round picks.
Wow. And a player to be named later?
Yes.
I don't know. They still
Cash
have that many rounds. Maybe not.
International pool money.
What other details do we have? He's got where is Billy going? By the way, God bless Billy. Where is he going?
So selfishly, when Billy told me he was going to the Ringer, to Spotify, my first question to him was, so does that mean the ban has been lifted? And he said, I guess technically that does mean the ban has been lifted.
Wow. It's a sad day. I mean, there have been many sad days over the last several months, but this is a sad day because I love Billy. And hopefully Billy and I will work together again at some point in time. That is my hope. It's always been my hope. But Billy is my producer. Like, if you look at the Lebatard show and how that show is structured, I'll give people a peek inside, a peek behind the curtain. Mike really produces Dan, and Billy has always produced me. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying that Mike hasn't had some sort of impact on my career. He has, of course. But no one, and I mean nobody, has had a greater impact on my career and my character and has had a hand in me trailblazing through an industry I have no business trailblazing through. No one has had a greater impact on me and my career than Billy. Billy is my producer. Billy knows me. He knows the lines that I want to say. He knows the lines that I should say. He gets me in a comfortable place to deliver those lines and to say things that perhaps I wouldn't normally say. But to have someone with you who is always listening to the entire show, because Lord knows I'm not, okay? And to be able to bring you back up to speed when he knows you haven't been listening for 2 or 3 minutes just because he knows you. And he can tell just by the glazed look on your face that you haven't been listening for 2 or 3 minutes. And then he gets me back into the conversation and delivers me the perfect line to deliver to Dan and the audience. Billy is a big part of my life. He is an invaluable part of my life. I hope to work with him again sometime soon. I love him. I wish him well. I can't believe he's going to the fucking Ringer. I mean, Jesus Christ. Why is he not coming here? I mean,
I'm just staring at Taylor's face the whole time while you are praising Billy so much. And I'm like, does Taylor do all those things yet? Or is he learning to do these things?
Yes. He's learning from Billy.
Yes. So I was going to say, I come from the Billy Gill coaching tree. Like, the only reason I really got into the Lebatard show was because of Billy Gill. Both from a viewing standpoint and an actual, like, personnel standpoint. He was the one that I kind of picked his brains, was like, hey, how can I get involved here? How can I do this? And he was the one that got me connected to the right people. But also, like, when I was watching the Lebatard show, I was in like a cube job in out of DC doing e-discovery marketing. It was the most miserable time of my life.
Wow.
And I was like, I need anything that can kind of get me through this. And one of my friends recommended the Lebatard show. And
God, I hope that wasn't when you emailed me, and then I just felt bad, and because I didn't like.
It was one of the worst times in my life.
Oh my God, that's when it was.
And I didn't want to bring it up yesterday. Jeff Darlington also never responded to one of my emails after saying he would
jerk.
Wow.
Billy not only like responded to the email, he was like, hey, let's get on a call. Let's talk through things. Let me see how I could help you. But when I was watching the Lebatard show for the first time, it was like you could see the shipping container, but then you could also see Stu and Dan. And like I remember falling in love with it because you would see Billy very clearly say something off mic, and then 2 seconds later, Stu would say the funniest thing ever. And then once you start piecing together, hey, Billy is the one who's actually saying a majority of these things. Like I thought that part was like so smart. And when I've talked to Stu, like what's your ideal role? It's like I love that idea of feeding people jokes, and that's kind of what I've gotten from Billy Gill.
Billy and I have a great relationship, and you're right. He fed me many of those lines because he's fucking funny. And the dirty little secret on our show is Billy is the funniest guy on our show. Billy is the best producer by far on that show, and Billy never got the credit that Billy fucking deserved, because anyone who has spent any amount of time around our show knows that in that room, Billy is the guy that is making everything go. He is the engine. He is the guy that is giving topics out. He's the best editor I know. Billy is a fantastic producer. What happened with Billy along the way is we realized, me and Mikey A, through God Bless Football, Billy's an even better host. And so I will tell you this, Billy, I gave him my word. He has 50% ownership of God Bless Football. Whether he ever appears on another show or not, now I'm going too far. That's crazy. What am I talking about? But there is a standing offer for Billy to own 50% of God Bless Football. So if you care about Billy, if you care about us, if you care about these shows, subscribe, rate, and review. That way I can afford to get Billy Gill over here.
If Bill Simmons was smart, and this is not me
cutting it up.
This is not me saying Bill Simmons isn't smart, because you got to be smart to create that empire he's done. Mm-hmm. Now that you're bringing Billy to the ringer, a Billy Gill Allison podcast would skyrocket to the top of the charts.
No question about it. You have Allison wanting to be on air, do you? Okay.
I don't think she wanted to be on air for the Lebatard show, but you have to admit, some of the best Billy content was Billy poking Allison and getting that dynamic out of their relationship.
Yes. But Allison has no desire to talk. And I'm not talking about on the air, just no desire to talk, period, to anyone. Like, especially me. Because Lord knows I've worn her out over the last couple of months.
Things I've... Go for it.
Izzy, you're a big fan of the show. Like, what do you think? Like,
well, all the funny part,
you've been around the show. You're a big fan of the show. You love Billy the way we love Billy. That's a big piece leaving, and I'm super happy for Billy. Like, whatever Billy is going to parlay the amount of years he spent with us, whatever he's going to parlay that into, I'm super happy for Billy. I just want him to be happy. If he's happy doing stuff at the Ringer, great. If he's happy doing stuff with us eventually, fantastic. I just want my friend to be happy, and so it appears like he's going to be happy.
Yeah. Having listened to the show from day one before producers were allowed to speak, Billy, I remember Billy as the Victoria's Secrets guy who was super scared every time his microphone was turned on. And now he's turned into a guy who, for segments at a time carries that show and has always been very talented, just trying to figure out how he fits in. A little taller than you would expect when you meet him. A little taller,
sneaky
probably
tall. Yeah.
Not quite as tall as Mike Ryan, the tallest man in South Florida, but he's sneaky tall. And I think people who are sneaky tall tells you this is a weird thing, okay? But hear me out. People who are sneaky tall and don't really brag. See, now I'm making Mike Ryan look like an asshole. But people don't really brag about how tall they are. Really good people at heart.
Yes.
Like, if you're
Billy's a good person. Billy's a person
just
who's
really
loyal.
Good dude and don't lord over everybody. And Billy is like,
how'd you turn this into a fucking height thing? Like,
I don't know.
I just wanted you to say something nice about Billy. Just say he's a good family person.
No, I'm just making it
loyal.
about me.
Somehow you made it. We're all confused.
Yeah, because ever since I found out that I was taller than Aaron Glenn, I feel like a tall person now.
So when I go through the Billy Gill
you keep
checklist,
reminding us.
Yes, just so you know, I could coach in the NFL. I'm taller than Aaron Glenn.
When I go through the Billy Gill checklist, I don't even know where I would have to get to before I get to height.
Yeah, no, it's top of my list. Yes. Like, honestly, Because, I mean, there was the whole pole vaulting situation. And I'm just like, wait a second. How tall is Billy really? And I had been next to him before, but it wasn't until like you really spend a good amount of time next to him where you're just like, wow, it's a tall dude.
Right. When you think of Billy Taylor, what are the first 5 things that come to mind? I mean, the big board, for sure. The big board.
Yeah.
Billy's big board. The Duke.
I would go with like funny, like socially awkward. And that's all stuff I relate to him. That's why like me and Billy bonded like crazy, where we're going to like Daytona together. We're going to the Demi Lovato concert together. The Lovat Bros, we call ourselves.
We sound like he died. He can come on the next show and talk about all of these things himself, which is why I'm holding back a little bit here. But hey, high five, Billy.
Billy Kill.